That was a moderately wholesome film. So I've just been to go see Christoper Robin. I really like how the film starts. Like, we live in an age where you have to either have a cold opening and then the title, or sometimes the title doesn't even appear until after the film has ended. Sometimes there's no title at all. Nope, not with this one. It was like, Disney presents Christoper Robin. Like, straight in there. Like, you barely had time to comprehend that the title was on, and it was on. Maybe it's just because I only really watch Marvel films in cinemas anymore, because I'm too poor to go see anything else. Speaking of poor people, I'm choosing to read like one of the major themes of the film as being very anti-capitalism. I mean, I think it is a theme, but I'm choosing to make it a very major theme, even though I don't really think it was intended to be a major anti-capitalist film, because one of the conflict resolutions at the end, spoiler alert, is basically the proletariat undercutting the bourgeois bosses by telling them that the solution to fixing their problems is to give all the workers paid holidays. I'm pretty sure I read an article somewhere about there being heavy anti-capitalist subtext in Winnie the Pooh. Or am I thinking about something else? Though it would have been a hilarious plot twist if the actual reason he was struggling with his figures all sort of weak and why the business was failing was because they actually misread the whole triangle the entire time and it was just being read upside down. And obviously Eeyore continues to be my soul. Like, I love everything about him. Every single line he spouts is just the perfect representation of my little depressed heart. What I love about the film is how much it brings Eeyore to the forefront. Usually the three main animal characters are Pooh, Tigger and Piglet, and then the rest sort of have their roles to play but are either on equal footing or secondary towards those three. Those three are basically the Kirk, McCoy and Spock of Winnie the Pooh. But actually in this film Eeyore had sort of more prominence and more roles and more presence than either Tigger or Piglet did, which I liked because Eeyore is basically me. So it was nice to see that. It was nice to see Eeyore have much more of a role, and I maintain my counter interpretation is that Eeyore knew it was Chris Robin from the start, like Pooh did, but was pretending that he wasn't because he recognised that while it was still Christopher Pooh in body, it wasn't in soul, and he wanted to basically inspire Chris Robin to sort of regain his childhood. And then because he recognised Christopher Robin when he saw him playing, and I reckon he was trying to spot the moment where he'd managed to regain his childhood to basically then help him, and it was sort of trying to provoke that rather than him actually believing he wasn't Christopher Robin. Because I mean, Eeyore's too perceptive to not realise he's Christopher Robin. Someone on Letterboxd has given it a 4-star rating in this, but the review as being please do not pit Paddington and Pooh against each other. And I'm not sure if that means commercially in terms of opening nights, because I'm pretty sure there isn't a Paddington movie coming out, or if they have some sort of fear that they're going to make a spin-off movie where Paddington and Pooh have to fight each other in some sort of weird team mashup. Oh, there was so much like punches to the gut, like the time when Robin was like, I haven't thought about you guys in 30 years, and Pooh's like, I thought about you every single day, and I'm like, why you gotta be like this, Uma McGregor, Christopher Robin? Also, every time Robin shouts at Pooh, I'm like, don't shout at Pooh! Pooh is so innocent. Leave him alone. There's a part where Robin's explaining to Pooh that he works in the efficiency department, or the fish in the sea department. Could we have efficiency departments? I don't know if it's a real thing or a thing they made for the plot. I can't tell. Maybe it is a real thing because businesses are weird. And that his job is basically to cut costs and if need be let people go. And Pooh's like, did you let me go? And Christopher Robin was like, I suppose I did. And he turns around and then Pooh's gone. I'm like, oh! I mean, there is actually no similarity to Infinity War whatsoever, but it's just how much Infinity War has traumatized me that the thought in my mind was like, Christopher Robin, I don't feel so good. Obviously, Uma McGregor continues to be a wonderful and immensely talented actor, putting emotions into every role he plays, and I just love watching him. One thing I've noticed is that whenever Peter Capaldi has to do a Southern English accent, be it in his role in Paddington or voicing Rabbit here, he still somehow sounds like himself. Like, it is an English accent, but it's very Capaldi, and Capaldi is very Scottish. I guess it's also the same when he was playing a cardinal in The Musketeers. Like, he was clearly alternating between English and a slightly French accent, which is what all the characters were doing, because they weren't hiding the fact that they weren't French, but they occasionally had to speak in French words, and they put an accent when they spoke in French words. And so even though he was speaking in this alternate English-French accent, he also still managed to sound Scottish, but it's not a case of him just doing a bad accent, not covering his accent well enough. I just think it's because Capaldi's voice is so distinctive. It's going to sound Scottish even when it's not. Oh, the final line about how yesterday, when it was tomorrow, was too much day for me, I think is going to be my new go-to phrase when I explain why I don't have enough spoons to do anything. And if you don't know what that phrase means, Google spoon theory. It's something I've just recently learned about, and I think it's a fantastic metaphorical way to explain lack of energy in people who suffer from fatigue. Also, I saw this film with my friend Beadle, who is also a massive Winnie the Pooh fan like me, and this was their thoughts. What did you think of the film?
I liked it, and I don't know if I'd see it again in cinema. I'll definitely get it on DVD.
How many honey pots out of 10?
10?
Wow, that's it.
8? I don't know.
Oh. So why not with the other 2?
Like, I'd like to there be more music.
It's not musical. Any final remarks?
No.
Fab. But I mean, it wasn't by any means a very deep emotional film. I mean, if you enjoy anything, Winnie the Pooh, you enjoy the film. It does tug a bit on your heartstrings, and if you let yourself be emotionally drawn into it, you will enjoy it even more. And you know, it's just every time one of the animal characters are on screen, they're just fantastic, and I love the dialogue. It's just so cutesy. So definitely check it out. I don't have a rating system on my channel, but I'd give it 4 honey pots out of 6. See you guys next time.